play for the Patriots. Everybody can't, Skip. It's hard to play for that team because all you do is focus on winning, and it's not about you.
Holy
Guys want stats. Yeah. That's the only way you get paid.
And that's why so many ex-Patriots have come out later to say that it wasn't enjoyable. They like to win, but it wasn't enjoyable because it's not about you.
Think about this. Put this in context. The 2007 Dallas Cowboys, which won nothing, lost to Eli in the first playoff game.
First game.
That's the T.O. Romo Cowboys. They had 13 Pro Bowlers. That's the record. 13. New England had 2 last year and none on defense. That's what you're up against here. Think about that.
That's what happens when you're well coached and you got a good quarterback. You can overcome that. Your team. That's your team. So, that should be an indictment right there. That should have made you jump off the bandwagon right then.
I did.
No, you back on.
As soon as they signed Terrell Owens, I became a non-Cowboy fan, and I tweeted that. I'm not a Cowboy fan anymore.
Why would you do that?
Well,
T.O. helped your team.
I told you, he wrecked my team, and I knew what was coming. He wrecked it.
Well, T.O. been gone for over a decade. So they still have one of his things.
Look, Tom Brady is even rising above a coach who's trying to sabotage him now, who gave away Garoppolo for only a 2.
He did get something for him.
He got a 2 back. Okay. Cleveland would have given him probably 2 1s and 2 2s.
We don't do business with Cleveland. They fired us.
All right, fine. And then his coach won't play Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. It's just sabotage.
He didn't practice hard enough during the week.
There must have been a reason, Skip. Tom doesn't know. Tom should know, right? Didn't he talk to the owner, Bob Kraft?
Yeah.
Tom should ask the owner.
Tom Brady plays against Jacksonville.
Defense is like wool and we're like doing nothing.
But he did. And his coach after the game knocks it and says it wasn't exactly
won the game.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Says it's more media circus than football.
Did he have to go to Mass General?
I don't know. He had to go somewhere and get.
He went to little med center. They stitched him up.
Demolition.
Right in med center. Yeah.
Jacksonville. Saxonville. Jacksonville's up 20-10 in the 4th quarter at Foxborough. And who does it? Who pulls a miracle out of his hat again?
20-10.
Tom Brady.
20-10 with 3 minutes into the 4th quarter. From that point on, how many points did Jacksonville score?
It was the defense that stopped them.
But they don't have any defense.
Who plays quarterback for Jacksonville? Help me out.
Blake Bortles.
Okay, that's all you need to know. So you stopped Blake Bortles. Way to go,
He put up 20. He put up 20
the
game in New England.
Did Blake Bortles come in the 4th quarter, or was he playing the whole game?
He played the whole game. He put up 20 early.
So Tom Brady against the hottest defense in pro football, Saxonville. He just says, watch this. 138 in the 4th quarter, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Wow. You guys can't see it.
To Amendola, the guy that he got out the stands right before the game.
He did. Thank you for making my point. Yeah, thank you.
You need to be ashamed of yourself, Skip.
Chris Hogan worked at 7-Eleven.
So just got to look. I don't care what he did before then. Kurt Warner bagged grocery.
I used to be a shoe salesman.
You did.
We all did something before we got started.
You sure? Gotta start.
I was the Black Al Bundy.
I'm just trying on new
I feel like Tom
I wouldn't buy anything for you, Rob.
Special abilities.
Because you shade tree. I already know.
Thank you for being here, Rob. Always fun with you around. All right, coming up.
Oh no, this guy's juking you so hard.
Years, Skip, Shannon.
Here we go.
Have some very strong opinions on.
He was trying to break the bed.
He's like got some different takes. That's next.
Very.
And ESPN ranked the best college football teams of the last 20 years. They put Vince Young's 2005 Texas team at #1, followed by Tim Tebow's 2008 Florida Gator team and the 2001 Miami team that had guys like Ed Reed, Andre Johnson, and Clinton Portis. Shannon, when you think about these teams, these games, who would you put at number 1?
Man, it's the Hurricanes, and it's not even close.
I'm gonna
this
go
is not even close.
Right.
Let's get, Skip, you know my word is.
Wait, is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn. I like to use the word context. There are 11 offensive guys, there are 11 defensive guys. Of the 22 starters that started that night for the Hurricanes, 11 of the first-round draft. 17 guys on that roster were drafted in the first round. 38 of those guys overall were draft picks. Wow. Now, the starting running back that night was Clinton Portis. He went in the second round. Willis McGahee was his backup. Frank Gore was his backup. Frank Gore got 14,000 rush yards. Andre Johnson, Jeremy, you didn't mention Jeremy Shockey, was the starting tight end.
Wait, you didn't mention Jeremy.
No, I'm talking to Jenny because you read Andre Johnson.
Was she supposed to mention?
I couldn't mention them all.
Bro, what the?
Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow II, Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams. Oh, man, Big Vince Wolford. Come on, Skip. This is not even close. How about this? Skip. They had Nebraska, who's the 4th-ranked team. They had them 34-0 at half.
Then what happened?
3 games. Skip. They put it in cruise control, 34-0 at half. Last 4 games of the season, they beat 14th ranked Syracuse, 59-0. 12th ranked UW, 65-7. They went to Blacksburg, Virginia Tech. Now you know that's a tough place to play. Beat them down.
That's pretty bad.
Florida State early in the year, Florida State had won 54 consecutive home games. Stomped them out. The Miami Hurricanes is the best team ever.
I know that one, okay? I got it too. See,
nobody can touch it.
Polar teammates.
Vince Young was unbelievable, Skip. That might have been the best game I've ever seen. They would have beaten the brakes off of Vince Young team.
Really?
They would have, and that Tebow team, Skip, think about this. Not Ed Reed. Sean Taylor, who was on projection to be one of the 2 or 3 best safeties they ever played, was a freshman and played special teams. Oh my goodness, they were loaded. You know it. If you say Florida, Skip Bayless, don't you do it. Don't you say Florida because, Skip, I'm asking you. Please don't do it, Skip. I'm asking you. Do me one, Skip, don't do it, Skip. Ain't no, don't do it.
Tell me when you're finished.
It's never gonna be finished if you, Skip, don't do it. I'm asking you nicely.
So, Jenny, I ask you.
Yes.
Did he bring up the Hurricanes quarterback that year? I didn't hear him.
I could have played quarterback.
They just used builder
you
kit.
could not have.
Yes, I could
because
have.
it's the hardest position to play in all sports.
Not
it's
in college.
the most important position in all of sports, even in college.
Didn't you see
it's
Alabama?
why Vince Young took a team that was pretty good.
Did you just give
all
me,
the way
dude?
to the top. It's why Tim Tebow took a team that was pretty good all the way to the
What
top.
about all those picks that? Come on, Skip. Look at what look at the Canes. Come on now.
I'm not going
Who's healer for a sec? Oh, you gave me the healer ultimate.
Do I have to say?
Ken Dorsey.
No.
Ken Dorsey?
Yeah, Dorsey.
So you just made a case for the greatest team ever with Ken Dorsey at quarterback? You're
That's days,
disqualified. It's over and out. I covered Ken Dorsey for a while when he was a 49er. He was no good.
What you gonna do about all the other
I
guys?
don't care. The position that
Very
matters
bad.
most has Ken Dorsey. You're out.
Skip.
You just
Look
got
at
disqualified.
Alabama's won
Ken
5.
Dorsey, how can you defend him?
Alabama has,
Ken Dorsey.
I didn't use
Alabama
jumper,
has won 5
so
national championships. Skip, there have been
too
some
bad
great
for
teams
me.
that the quarterback hasn't been very good. You make it seem like everybody got a #1 overall draft pick. With this talent, 11 of their 22 starters were first-round draft picks. Let that sink in.
With
this
jump
sink in.
kangaroo because like so.
The best team I have seen in the last 20 years played in 2014 for the Ohio State University,
man.
led by my man Ezekiel Elliott, who was the most dominating college running back I have ever seen. I've never seen anything like what he did down the stretch.
Oh, you Herschel Walker?
Most
that's not
dominating.
you.
No,
No Herschel Walker. This was off the charts. This was beyond
That's so
Herschel
hard.
Walker.
Watch and
Eric
learn.
Dickerson, name somebody else. I'll tell you why. They play Wisconsin that had a really good defense in the Big Ten championship game. It was 59-0 because Zeke went for 220 yards. Then they play St. Nick's defense in the national semifinal, and they hang 42 on St. Nick's defense because Zeke ran for 230 yards. Then they play Oregon in the national championship game, Marcus Mariota, and they hang 42 on the Ducks because Zeke goes for 246 yards. Those are the 3 greatest big game running back games you will ever find. You can't top that. Zeke was better than any of those 3 running backs that you named from the Hurricanes, and they're all really good. But Clinton Portis or McGahee or who was the other one? They're just
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. They're not this guy. This guy is going to be all-time great. This is a Hall of Famer. This was a college football Hall of Fame run that he had. And guess what, boys and girls? He had a quarterback.
Cardale Jones.
Cardale Jones.
What's he doing now?
Played through. I don't care what he's doing now. I just know what he did then.
Okay, what did Ken Dorsey do then?
You know what? He went Nick Foles in those 3 games, Cardale Jones did, because I've never seen a quarterback hotter, play better, and I'm talking about throwing it and running it.
And he lost he lost his job the next year.
Oh, well, I don't care. Those 3 games, he completes 61% of his passes for 742 yards in 3 games. He was out of his mind hot.
Are you there?
He was like man among boys hot. He looked bigger, stronger, faster, with a bigger arm than anybody he was playing against. So wait a second. I'm not finishing. The floor is mine.
It's not going to change.
If you want to talk about draft choices, let's look at the Ohio State defense. Look at that secondary. Marshawn Lattimore, Malik Hooker, Garyon Conley, Eli Apple. Those are high pick. Those are first round.
Which one better than Ed Reed? Which one better than Ed Reed?
All four of them together, that's a secondary. I'll tell you who's better than anybody on the Hurricanes is a pass rusher, Joey Bosa. He dominated college football. I've never seen anything like him in college. And he's pretty good in pro football.
He's playing his tail off.
Yeah, so all of a sudden I'm saying, okay, so you got the best pass rusher, you got the best running back, you had the best quarterback over those 3 games, and you got the best secondary by far. You're the best team I ever seen.
I'll take Andre Johnson. Skip. Their starting defense, the Canes starting defense, 7 first-rounders.
Okay, you got it, but you can't beat the quarterback. I've got Cardale. I'll take Cardale Jones over Ken Dorsey.
Why?
Seriously?
How?
Ken Dorsey was like, you want to talk about below average? How do you wind up with Ken Dorsey?
Well, if Cardale Jones is what you said he was, how did he lose his job the following year after 3 games?
He's out of his mind.
Oh, he was out of his mind.
What is he? 6'5"?
That doesn't have anything to do.
50.
Oh man, Vince Wolford. I ain't even mention Antrell Rowe. Antrell Rowe was a freshman. 3rd team behind Ed Reed and Sean Taylor. Skip,
I'd like
come
to
on.
see that battle because
Vilma, DJ. Ooh.
Zeke, he would slice and dice that defense.
Clinton Porter. Clinton Porter was Rookie of the Year. Zeke was Zeke. 2 1,500-yard seasons, back to back. Had Clinton
Are you
Porter.
trying to tell me Clinton Portis is better than Ezekiel Elliott? Because he's just not. Sorry, he's just not. He's really good, but he's not.
Had Clinton Porter stayed in Denver, Clinton Porter would have been a Hall of Famer.
But he didn't, and he wasn't.
Okay, we got to see what Zeke's going to do. You make it seem like Zeke's going to the Hall of Fame after 2 years.
He's going to be all-time great. Obviously, I got to knock on wood.
How about this? Will he have more rush yards than Frank Gore?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's just
put 5 cases of dew on that.
This guy's dominant.
Put 5 cases of dew on that.
Well, we're gonna have a long way.
I ain't got number time. I ain't going nowhere.
I don't know.
I ain't got number time.
You just turned 50.
I ain't got number time. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna live a long time. I ain't hoping to.
Yeah. This team was hotter than that team.
No.
Yeah.
Your team lost the game. This team, 54 games, they went to Florida State and beat Florida. Now, you know Florida State kept a stink back then.
Yeah. I'll give you that team was loaded except for the quarterback.
Your team was loaded except for the quarterback.
That's wrong. Look at the numbers. 46 of 75 in 3 games for 742. I've never seen a quarterback play at a higher level than Cardale did for those 3 games.
And think about
They're big games.
And he played as high as he possibly could. Zeke rushed for 1,000,000 yards. They won by 7.
Over St. Nick, but they scored 42.
Nebraska. They beat. Who beat somebody 65-7? Who goes on the road and beat a team 59-0? Where they do that at?
I don't know how they did it with Ken Dorsey.
I do.
Yeah.
You got
an awful lot.
When you got Andre Johnson, you got Jeremy Shockey, you got Winslow II, you got Clinton Porter, Willis McGahee.
And Ken Dorsey's trying to get the ball to him?
All you gotta do is hand it to him. Bryant McKinney was an offensive lineman. Kerry, come on, Skip. Why you do that?
I have to be with Skip on this. That year, Cardale, never seen anything like it.
You were there.
No, it wasn't that year.
Never.
It wasn't that year. It was those 3 or 4 games.
Well, it was.
Who cares?
It was.
He defied the odds there.
Yeah, I didn't even bring up the Michigan game. They beat the brakes off Michigan, and Zeke went for 121 against Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan, really?
Top defense.
Either way, that's why we all love college football.
Canes all the way.
Okay.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.
Happy Friday and welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. On today's show, will the Rockets be better or worse with Carmelo Anthony? Plus, Skip and Shannon battle it out over the best college football team of the last 20 years. And is Tom Brady actually underrated? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Carmelo Anthony is likely heading to Houston after getting bought out by the Hawks. There has been speculation about whether Melo would be willing to come off the bench after a disappointing season in OKC, but he told the Undefeated that he's not ready to do that. The Rockets currently have the second best odds to win the West, and yesterday James Harden offered nothing but praise when asked about how Melo would fit in with the team. Take a listen.
It's all about communication, and obviously there's a lot of egos, a lot of talent, but some of that has to sacrifice in order to get to where we want to go. Obviously, everybody in the world knows what Carmelo brings, how gifted and talented he is, and he still has a lot more to go. So if he comes to the Rockets, we'll bring the best out of him, and I'm sure he'll bring the best out of us as well.
All right, we are lucky to have Rob Parker with us
on
this Friday.
Thanks,
I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'm going to start with you here. Where would you rank the Rockets in the West with Carmelo?
I'll drop them down to number 3.
Okay.
I like Golden State. I'm elevating OKC. Another year together. And they got something going. I think they feel good about each other. Carmelo Anthony, to me, doesn't add anything to Houston. And this is what the problem was in OKC. Sometimes, and too many cooks can spoil the ham hocks, right? Did your grandmother tell you that?
Yeah. Too many cooks can spoil mess the meal up.
Right, you know what I mean. So I just think that it's overkill. That's not what Houston needs, Carmelo Anthony. I get it. You want to add a star, he can score. We all know that, and Carmelo can do that. If Carmelo was going to Houston in the Big 3, I would think it was a great idea if they had a franchise.
Right.
But here, I just don't think what they have, Carmelo really fits, and you're only going to have the same situation you had in OKC.
Yes.
Where ultimately it didn't fit and it didn't work. So I don't see the fit, and I question why they would want to add. And then to add what D'Antoni, the coach, you remember the whole story that he quit from the Knicks because of Carmelo Anthony.
But somehow,
like that didn't happen? Are we supposed to act like it never happened anymore?
The 25 to 28 point a night Carmelo Anthony, you didn't want to coach him, but the guy that shot his all-time worst coming off a season like that, now you think he adds something to you. This makes no sense to me, Skip Bayless. Carmelo says, OKC didn't use me correctly. They can't use you like that. Skip, they can't use him like he was used in New York because they had Russ. You can't have two guys getting up 25 shots a night, Skip. Okay, Carmelo, you going to Houston. How do you think they're going to use you? James Harden says, we know there are a lot of egos involved, and some of us are going to have to sacrifice.
He didn't mean so. He meant, and Melo has to sacrifice. Exactly. He just didn't say his name.
He could have easily said, we're all going to have to sacrifice some things. No. Because remember now, when he got his MVP trophy, they floated the idea of LeBron James. He said, we don't need anything. What we got is good enough because we went Game 7 with the Golden State Warriors because he knows when LeBron comes, everybody has to sacrifice. He's like, Melo, you got to sacrifice. I'm still going to get my 20-plus shots a night up. Chris Paul going to need his 15, 16 a night.
That's correct.
I don't see the added benefits because I don't see the Carmelo Anthony being able to play the way that he was effective the majority of his career, which is dominate the ball, back you down, take the shot, get any shot that he wants. How do you do that when you got an MVP and you got Chris Paul on that roster? I don't see it. You give up defensive guys in Ariza and Mbah a Moute. They were able to switch everything. Carmelo, really?
But if he was willing to accept a secondary role, come out and play, right? Come off the bench, and you have the green light. Then maybe you.
It works better if he's for the second unit, Skip. Now he gets the bulk of the shot with the second unit. But if he's willing to accept that role, hell, he could have stayed in OKC. It was because he was unwilling to accept that role.
To me, Carmelo Anthony has become the Dez Bryant of the NBA.
Oh, wow.
He has. Or maybe you should do it in reverse. Maybe Dez is the Melo of the NFL.
I like that.
Rob Parker, you just said something, but you didn't say it all as strongly as you would usually drive home a point. You said that Oklahoma City is going to be a little better than Houston. I'm going to remind you, Houston won 65 games without Melo last year. Oklahoma City won only 48, so that's a 17-game swing. So you're saying addition by subtraction, get Melo out of there, and all of a sudden Paul George and Russ and they added Schroeder, who I love Schroeder, but you could argue, how's he going to fit? Is he just going to be the backup? Are they going to share the ball a little bit? Are they going to share point guard or shooting guard a little bit? I still love his game. He is electric. He can score. Yeah. And they get Robertson back, their best defender. I'm with you. I think Oklahoma City could be a little better because I think Houston is the team most likely to slide, decline, maybe even collapse if you put Melo into that mix.
Because look at OKC during the year, how they struggled with those guys. Remember, they were terrible at one point, and you said, how in the world can they not win with all this talent?
So they tried, and to Melo's credit, he tried in a way to become spot-up three-point shooter.
He's not
and he didn't like it.
No.
He groused about it all. He griped. He made waves about it. He's kind of like LeBron. He's more passive-aggressive. He won't just tear the locker room apart. He'll just be a little unhappy with the media, just drop a hint here, drop a hint there. He took a career-high 474 threes last year. Those are attempts. That's a lot of threes to jack up. That's what Houston does, but he didn't like it. He made 36%, which is just okay. It wasn't like he was lighting it up, but it wasn't bad.
Right.
Okay? Would he fill that bill for Houston? Because they're going to lead the league in three attempts.
Yes.
Okay? Will he be happy with that? No, because he's already made it clear, I'm still that guy. James just said, we heard him just say, oh, he's still got a lot left. Well, what? Does he have ball stopping, ball dominant, solo act in the low post left? Because that's who he always was. He's a big man, he's bullish, he can back people down in the low post and take advantage of smaller, weaker defenders. That's the essence of Carmelo Anthony. Will that ever work in Houston? Will they ever run one play like that? I don't ever see him do that.
So what's James Harden supposed to do when Carmelo has the ball for like 15, 16 seconds?
Count the attendance.
because that's not the thing, and it's hard, Skip, when you see a guy that came in your draft class and he's still way up here.
I know.
And you're not.
You know what? That's the essence of his issue.
Yes.
His psychological, his ego issue is, well, I'm only 7 months older than LeBron James.
But look at D Wade. Yeah. And D Wade took care of himself. It's just his body. His knees gave out on him, Skip.
Because he had terrible knee surgeries at Marquette.
Right.
And he never got over them.
Right.
He's bone on bone. He's got issues, man.
But D Wade is smart enough to know I'm not the D Wade that led us to a title. I'm not the D Wade in the first couple of years of LeBron being in Miami. So I got to revamp my game. Okay, I'm better served if I come off the bench playing with that second unit. I can get my 13 to 15 shots a night. I'm not that guy.
I always wish that Allen Iverson bought into that at the end of his career.
Yes.
Allen Iverson could have played, come off the bench. I know a lot of guys. Grant Hill did it. A lot of great players that got to accept when that time comes.
Bob McAdoo did it. Bill Walton did it.
A lot of people.
Ginobili still's doing it.
Well, but he did it the bulk of his career. He came off the bench.
He was willing to do it. He still played a lot of minutes, and you could still have big baskets in big situations. You got to let the ego go. I get it.
Dwayne Wade in Game 2 at Philly, the Kevin Hart game, remember that? He was great, but it was just in the fourth quarter, but he was still coming off the bench.
Skip, I don't know if Manu ever looked at himself like Carmelo sees himself.
Probably not.
Allen Iverson, he definitely didn't say Allen Iverson won the MVP. He was the guy.
He was a star. He was a star.
Yeah, so to go to the bench and like, come on, dude, I'm the MVP coming off the bench.
But I will say, Grant Hill was a rookie of the year. He was a great player in college.
Yes.
And he was able, and he had some injuries, but he was willing to accept it. All I'm saying is, Melo, if he's really serious about extending his career and having a chance to win, it's not the worst thing in the world. Do you want to be a star on a bad team and not winning anything, or add to a team?
I want to win the title, but I really want to win the title averaging 25. When people say, oh, I want to win, I really do want to win, Skip, but I want to win catching 100 balls. I want to win rushing for 1,300 yards. Carmelo he does want to win, but he really, really would love to win scoring 25 a night. I want to win and be the guy.
So you lose Ariza and Mbah-a-Moute, and Capella's not going to be happy because he has to come back hat in hand and say, okay,
Skip, they got 5 years, $85 million. You better take that $17 million and be happy.
But Skip, those are big losses to Houston.
They're going to lose some of their defensive identity because Melo's not going to help that.
Well, they're trying to get rid of the Ryan Anderson is the albatross, Skip. Good luck trying to get somebody to take 2 years at $40 million for a guy. He plays no defense, and now all of a sudden he can't hit a shot.
So you with us that they're going to drop to 3 maybe in the West?
You're going there.
Yeah,
leaning.
but I got somebody rising. I got a fast riser. I got a fast riser. I got a fast riser, Skip.
Well, pick them. Put your courage where your mouth.
I already got 5 cases on on 54.
54?
Yes.
5? The other day you said 54 or 55. Which is it?
I said 53 or 54. You lumped me into 54. Why you always got to take the highest one? Why you just can't say, okay, Shannon, you get 54?
Because I'm not going to let you get away with 54 or 55. 55.
No, 54.
No?
No mercy.
Well, Kevin Durant has been busy on social media this week. He went back and forth with CJ McCollum after CJ called him soft for signing with the Warriors. Then he got into it with a random fan and asked an NBA writer why he has to shut up while everyone else gets to talk. Yesterday, Durant spoke more about his social media presence. Take a listen.
It's just to the point where I know what you're upset at. Just say it instead of just trying to, make excuses. You know what I'm saying? I got too many texts, or I talk too much on Instagram, or I talk too much on Twitter, or I don't know how to talk to my teammates, or I'm angry, or I'm insecure, or sensitive. Tell me what the real problem is, because every time I say something, I go about my business, and when I say something, House of Highlights and Bleacher Report gas y'all up, and y'all run with it, and as soon as I say something back, I'm the sensitive one. I mean, I know y'all trying to make me look crazy and discredit me and strip me of my credibility, but I see what you're doing, but I'm gonna still keep standing.
Boy, does that guy like social media and Twitter. All right, Shannon, do you like KD's response?
No. Skip, I love KD. Love his game. He got 2 chips.
He's the best player in basketball. We all know. Go ahead.
See, we were having a great conversation. We about to be really good.
Keep going. Go ahead.
Skip, no, KD. You had a burner account that you could respond to people that took slights at you and remain anonymous. Just 2 weeks ago, you jumped in a guy's DM that was 17-year-olds that wants to be in this business and told him because he called you soft, you told him to go clean his room. That's not the media. We're reporting on it because you did it. You sent the tweet out. You respond to people. What did you think was going to happen? I can assure you, you were on social media before you left OKC to go to Golden State. You knew this was going to be the response when you go join a 73-win team that had already won a title and had a 2-time MVP on it. You knew that. Okay, I get it. If some of the other players, if NBA players, Skip, they want to call you soft, hey, you can take it to them. But not saying that you're better, but for what he's fan. Really, KD? You're going to respond to a fan that called you soft, and then with somebody, I don't know if he understands what sensitivity means. This is textbook. This is garden variety sensitivity. Call it Ralph Transband. He did a little sensitivity training, Skip Bayless. He's sensitive. It's okay. Just acknowledge it. Somebody calls you soft, you go back at him. And then he says, we didn't hear this part, Skip. He said he wasn't upset where I'm from. If you call somebody a snake, you upset.
I'd say so.
Now, I don't know how
that also applies to where I'm from.
So maybe that's a new millennial thing. Maybe now they call you a snake, hey, it's a good thing. I don't know. Because over the course of years, different meanings have different meanings, Skip. So maybe snake now is a good thing. Normally when you call someone a snake, you're calling them that out of anger. You're not saying, that's a good snake. Oh man, no, that's not how it works, KD. All we're saying is that we're pointing out is that when a common fan that watches the game, they say you weak for going to join Golden State, you lash back out. You did have a burner account. Think about that, Skip. I keep saying had. Who's to say he doesn't have more?
Fair point.
That when someone says something, he responds to him.
This is the back-to-back finals MVP with burner accounts?
Yes.
Kevin Durant?
A 17-year-old said you were soft and you told a dude to go clean his room. What is that?
Well, he got you good. And then the kid went right back at him and said, this is exactly what you are, right?
Yeah. And the kid, he texted me, said, y'all need to talk about this on tomorrow's show. I had no idea.
The kid texted you?
He DM'd me.
DM'd you?
Yeah. Because I'd have had no idea. I didn't know what was going on, Skip. He said, you need to talk about Kevin Durant jumping in my DMs on a 17-year-old.
So you follow the kid?
I follow a bunch of people.
Wow.
That kid is the coolest kid at
Yeah,
school
he's cool.
now.
We good people. I follow you, too.
You do not follow me.
How you know?
Because you told me you didn't, but I don't know.
I'm going to catch you, though.
Yeah.
My fans, hey, we rallying. We rallying, Skip. We rallying.
Do you know how far you have to go?
Yeah. But do you realize how far I've come?
I'm like Kevin Durant. See, I'm above all.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you realize how far I've come?
Well, since you joined me. Yes. I get it.
Cool. Hey, you're absolutely right, Skip. I'm gonna ride shotgun till I pass you.
All right. So, back to our friend Kevin Durant. This was so classic yesterday because Kevin was getting way oversensitive about being called oversensitive. It's as simple as that. That's all you need to know about Kevin Durant. This is the guy who has just turned me inside out my whole career. Because I go back to my first couple of years on national TV on ESPN, and I became the biggest Kevin Durant fan when he was at the University of Texas. I raved about him. I said, this guy is unbelievable because he plays like he's 7 feet tall. I don't know exactly how tall, but he plays 7 feet long and tall. He can just shoot it from anywhere. And I said, this guy will win multiple NBA scoring titles. And the people I was with on that show were laughing at me until Bill Self was a guest on our show, and he said, hey, Skip's right about this. Because obviously Big 12, he was seeing him up close and personal, and he said, this guy's, he's got as much scoring potential as anybody I have ever faced as a coach in college basketball. Bill Self.
4 scoring titles later.
Okay, there you go. So then what happened? I'm Kevin Durant, and all of a sudden this little guy Westbrook comes along, and he starts shooting it more than Kevin Durant. Well, I'm a Durant fan, and I'm from Oklahoma City originally, so I start defending my man, Kevin Durant, saying he should be taking more shots than the little point guard. And it's the point guard's decision because he dribbles the ball up the floor, and about 2/3 of the time it feels like he's saying, I'm going to shoot this. You stand over there and watch me because I'm going to create my own shot over here.
Right.
And maybe every once in a while I'll let you shoot it from over there on the wing. Guess what Kevin Durant does? I defend him, and all of a sudden one night he goes to a reporter in Oklahoma City, like calls him over in the locker room, and just nukes me, blasts me, and says, I do not know anything about basketball. I don't? So Kevin, so I guess all those things I said about you, they were all wrong, right? And I'm thinking, this is classic bite the hand that's feeding you or trying to support you, right? And I couldn't get it. I was just dumbfounded the next day on live TV. How could you do this to me, of all people, Kevin? Well, he's trying to defend his little buddy and trying to keep the team together. So I gave him that. I said it was kind of a good team thing to do. Maybe Shannon Sharpe would try to do something like that.
You defend your guy.
Yeah. But guess what? I got proven right in the end because I kept saying, Kevin does not like playing with that little guy. And he finally just said, I've had enough of it. I can't win a championship with him. Even though we were 3-1 up on Golden State, I'm going to go join forces with Golden State.
It's hard for me to believe that Kevin Durant was this sensitive when he was on OKC.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. And when you go to Golden State and you win titles, you win 67 games one year, you win 58 games the next year, you win two titles, you're 7 feet tall, all of a sudden you become 10 feet tall.
Yep.
And when people say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you won the titles, we're not taking that away from you, but you butt sauce for going to join, you weak sauce for going to join Golden State to do it. Well, that strikes a nerve, Skip.
I know, but just let it go. You did it. You proved yourself.
But if he wasn't sensitive, he could.
Okay.
But because he's sensitive, he can't.
So next classic Kevin Durant came the year after he won the MVP, which gets voted on by a lot of media.